All right, Jesse on fire. Welcome back, everybody. Because guess what? Okay. I wonder if anybody could have seen that this was coming. You know what I mean? Because Dana White is facing some attacks in the media that are so predictable and absurd that we are going to run through them. We're going to talk about the satisfying nature of this because you want to know what makes this election so exciting for people like me and you guys, I would assume, is first of all, actually, let me rewind. I will go to my grave certain that no one made more impact. No single external person has ever made a bigger impact on an election than Dana White did on this one. Okay. And I'll tell you what I mean. Because unlock your iPhone first. What the? Sorry, hang on. Because it's starting to like become now more and more unwound, right? Elon, that's fair. Yeah, no, Elon. No, you're right, Elon. But you're right, actually, Elon. But still, very, very, very even because they had done such an amazing job over the previous however many years, convincing everyone that like there was some reason you needed to be like, underneath a trench coat, like, hey man, I just want you to know I do actually like Trump and I vote for him. I'm just I don't really feel comfortable saying it out loud, which is absolutely hilarious given the fact that now that the curtains are off, it's like all the people who have nothing to be, fearful of are the ones who were supporting him all along. You know what I mean? And I also think that what Dana did is make crystal clear to the entire world in the most definable, data-driven way possible that there's a new cool kid clique in the world. And it ain't Hollywood. Like Hollywood used to be like the cool kids, right? Like getting an endorsement, from like some Hollywood actor used to be a big deal, right? And now they have no sway. And that's because in like the global game of social politics, right? Where, it's a bigger kind of stage, but it is really not that different than, you go to high school, and then, those are the cool kids. And if they say blah, 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 people are like, I should probably like kind of go along with them. And this is just like the global version of that. And the top of the mountain used to be, A-list musician, A-list Hollywood stars. And social media has changed everything. Absolutely everything, because social media shows exactly who people actually are. And the rise of UFC to become mainstream has also changed everything, because at the end of the day, in the jungle, you know what I mean? Like in the jungle, there is always one gigantic trump card to all conflicts, just like in high school, someone's all blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh yeah, no, no, no. It's like, hey, how about I fuck you up? And they're like, wait, what? It's like, how about I beat the shit out of you? Well, your only response to that, if you know for sure that they will win the fight, is kind of like, oh, what are we like? Well, geez, like, what are we, Neanderthals? But ultimately, we are just one little step, away from primates. And so that shit does matter. Bottom line, that shit matters. And Dana, on his own, took Trump down the, into these UFC events where you can't lie to anybody about that. Like that's the kind of poll and the kind of visual that cannot be like faked. It's like, this is 17,000 people who are not here for a political rally. They're here to watch a fight. And they all are going absolutely bananas for Trump. And that visual, and like, if you're ever in the building or you watch it on TV, you're like, holy shit, everyone loves this guy. All right. Not only is it okay to love this guy, but like you can just openly love it. And then all the fighters start being like, we're here for Trump. We're here for Trump. And our entire community was like, yeah, you know, what's up? I basically dedicated my entire channel to supporting his campaign since they shot him, you know? And at the end of the day, it's like, we're the fucking cool kids now. You know what I mean? Whatever our community is, like whatever community you guys are all in and I'm in, and any of these other content creators that are kind of like connected to this group, you know, whether they're comedians or they're in combat sports or what, you know, whatever. Anybody even connected, like we're the ones that actually have influence now. You know what I mean? Like these Hollywood nerds, you can go pay the fucking Avengers to do like a fake conference call and they're all, oh my God, I just absolutely love Kamala. We really love Kamala. And it's like, no, you don't, you know? And if you do, all you're not promoting Kamala, you're just destroying your own brand. Because guess what? The fucking cool kids are on the other team. And it seems like everywhere I look, anybody who I actually think is cool is on that team. So you actors are really starting to look a lot more like the fucking band geeks that you are, you know, with a little bit of fame and money. And so it's like Dana did that. Like Dana did that. And, you know, it's also like when Dana went and spoke at the RNC in 2020, he said, everyone told him not to do it. Like they were like, don't do it, Dana. And he had a lot to lose, man. I mean, like not, you know, he's obviously set financially, but he's running a business in the United States. There, generally speaking, is never a time where you are going to make a positive impact on your business by taking a hard stance politically, generally speaking, prior to the current paradigm that we're in. And he was like, fuck that, dude. Trump's always had my back. So fuck everybody. And he went and did the speech, which is just gangster, man. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, like the more, you know, somebody coming out now and being like, yay, Trump is good. Every single person doing that is good. But to me, the larger the risk and sacrifice someone has to make in order to do that, the more credit I'll give them. Example, if Anna Kasparian just came out, you know, from TYT and she was like, look, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Fuck these Democrats. I voted for Trump in secret. You know, her as like a commentator for TYT, because I think there is a better than, I would say it's 50-50 on who she voted for. And I actually might even say much better than 50% that she secretly voted for Trump. Because if you saw how she interacted with her own people, like over that thing when they were calling him fascist, like when someone loses their cool and they start talking, that's when you see who someone is. You know what I mean? And like she got mad, right? When they start calling him a fascist, and she's like, okay, but like he's not a fascist. So yes, he is. He did. And then they started talking all the normal talking points, and she pushed back on all of them. And then she got on X, and she was just like pretty, you know, it's an interesting interesting take from a guy who flexes no new foreign wars and has done more for peace than Kamala, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, that sounds an awful lot like a person who is seeing the world as it actually is, you know. But Dana's just gangster, man. He's a good friend. I've never once, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to like flex my network, but I know a lot of people that know Dana. I've personally never met him, but I know a lot of people who know him. I have never once heard of Dana being anything other than loyal, supportive, and awesome. And in some cases, like really awesome in like stories I can't repeat, where like same kind of thing, dude, up against the, like him put in a position where 99% of people in his position would fold or do whatever. And he does the exact opposite. Fuck you. How about that? I'll pull the whole fucking deal. Fuck you, to defend his guy. It's like, he's just a fucking badass. It's as simple as that, dude. He's an absolute badass. All right, so now let me show you what I'm talking about in the media here. Oh shit, sorry, I missed the super chat. DC, what's up, dude? The end of the Federal Reserve and IRS or Gog versus Nuremberg 2.0, either way. They're not going to end the Federal Reserve, I don't think, and they're not going to end the IRS. Like that's too big of an undertaking. Like let's all just let's just do one thing at a time. Like let's go one thing at a time because we got some people who need to be brought to justice. You know what I mean? Because as I was just talking about in the video that I just posted about the escaped monkeys, like there are some people who I consider to be like straight up, outright global supervillains that are in a pot of boiling water right now, and they fucking know it. You know what I mean? They know it, where it's like, all right, so if you rewind a year, I said the only way that there would be a world where I would not 100% vote Trump is if he was up against RFK. And the only reason that I say that is because I think that RFK is the one who will put these motherfuckers in jail for real because he knows that world. The scenario that we got where Trump is the president, the visual, like the guy who's going to get everybody running behind him, and you have RFK working behind him to put these guys in jail. It's the best possible scenario. Because there was a time where I was like, maybe he could make RFK his running mate. And now in hindsight, that wasn't as good as what we have. Because at vice president, there's all kinds of shit you have to focus on. Okay. RFK getting to focus all of his energy on rooting out the corruption in the FDA, CDC, pharmaceuticals, food production, all these chemical, all that. And that's all he focuses on. He's going to dude, he wrote the book. He literally wrote the book, The Real Anthony Fauci. If you think Anthony Fauci has not been on late night conference calls every single night since election night, you're out of your mind. These guys know. They know what's coming. They have to. RFK wrote the book. And like everybody's always said, they're like, is this all true? It's like, of course it's true. He would have gotten sued into oblivion if the stuff in that book wasn't true. And if you haven't read it or listened to the audiobook, do it. Like, you're telling me that RFK is not going to make a top priority to put Fauci in fucking jail? He's like, as RFK sees it, I can't even imagine the number of the suffering and death that RFK views that guy directly responsible for. You know what I mean? So I saw this too. No, I saw that headline that's actually why I was late. I popped on Benny Johnson's channel, and it was actually they unsealed the indictment on that Iran plot or whatever. But yeah, it's like, at least according to that story, like Iran straight up put people in the country with the purpose of trying to knock Trump off, which is, man, I mean, not a good move for them, dude. Not a good move for them. Or it's the deep state who is setting it up to where they can have some reason why he had another shot taken at him. Hey, love from Utah. What music do you jam? I got. Thank you for the super chat, good sir. I like a lot of stuff. My playlists are like, honestly, I listen to dude, why are they calling me every single week, man? I listen to Empire of the Sun, 9 Inch Nails, and then a ton of rap. And then also I like 80s, and I like fucking Fleetwood Mac. I like all kinds of shit. What up, Jesse? I'm the one who sent that email earlier today. That convo is sure to be a banger. What a bunch of bullshit oh my God. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that you're right. I'm going to do that video though. But the video, the topic he's referencing is a text message went out to hundreds or thousands of black people that said hey, check into this new place for your new cotton picking job, some shit like that. And so they're and the CNN's covering it. They're interviewing them. And the people they interview are all, it just shows exactly where we are in this country. My black child is having a text message sent to them about picking cotton. It's Trump's racist America. And you're like, hey, I have an idea. Have you thought about how whoever, and then they said that there was someone who used this mass text system to do it. And so it's like, question. How did they know that all of the phone numbers that they put into that system were those owned by black people? You think about that? Because that sounds very intelligence agency operative. You know what I mean? Sounds like a psyop to me. Because again, how the fuck would they know that they're black? How would they get a list of phone numbers that they know are all just black? And then they're all right, ready? Hey, go pick cotton, blackie. It's so like, it's the playbook they always try to run, is just like divide them, because they're black and they're white. You convince them that all the whites hate them, especially the ones that voted for Trump. And you convince them that all these blacks are terrible criminals. All of us are like, shut the fuck up, dude. Everybody's American. That's why we are winning by landslide, because we're not playing your dumb game anymore, okay? There are asshole black guys, asshole white guys, and incredible white guys, incredible black guys. Like, we're done with your, like, this is not working. You guys need to find another tactic. The shit's not working. It's just not fucking working anymore. Super fake. It's so dumb, dude. Okay. So, and again, the reason they do it, because like the idea that we have these like two political parties anymore, you have the political party that is in league with the, Soros billionaire donor guys, intelligence agency, corrupt people. Like, it's not like everybody in this. That's one thing that it's like, if everybody thinks like every FBI agent is like a bad guy or every CIA person is a bad guy. It's not. No, there are corrupt people, deep state in leadership positions in certain areas that do nefarious shit in league with these people. You know what I mean? But like, yeah. And so that group, they try to create division so that they can come and present themselves as the solution to the problem. It's the oldest trick in the book. Create problem and then present yourself as the solution. Listen, look at how racist America is. You want to know who's going to help you? Our candidate. You're all. So you just text messaged a bunch of black people and told them to go pick cotton, right? Pretended that this is like Trump's America. And then now you're going to come out and be like, and we're the ones that care about race relations in the country. It's like everybody sees through that shit now. And I'm telling you, Jussie Smollett, remember when he was like, I am not suicidal when he was about to go in? I strapped that guy to a chair, drive nails into his fingernails. I'm not saying to actually do this. I'm just saying, like, get him to tell the truth. I have always been very suspicious about the fact that Kamala Harris, deep state kind of puppet, and then that other clown who's light-skinned black dude whose name is escaping me right now. They passed the anti-lynching bill like a day after the Jussie Smollett thing. They just happened to have a bill up that's anti-lynching. Pretty sure lynching is murder, It's hey, we're also going to pass a law that says no shooting people in the back with your gun. You're all, isn't that already illegal? Yes, it is. But we need to make sure it's specific. Anti-lynching. You're all, as I understand it, lynching is hanging a person with a noose. Yes, it is. Which would be murder. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. So why would you need an anti-lynching bill? Well, we just want to be a little bit more specific about it so that people, get the right, repercussions if they do, in fact, lynch someone. You mean like life in prison without the possibility of parole? Yes. Like you get for first-degree murder, which absolutely 100% of the time, if you actually take the time to hang that person by a noose, that would be? Yes. So you're telling me you're not doing this to stoke racial division in the country, an anti-lynching bill? Is lynching some huge thing that happens all the time right now? You're just trying to remind people that used to happen a long time ago and trick people into thinking that that's something that is actually real. Stop talking. or else we'll put you right next to Jussie Smollett in jail. So obvious and stupid. I'm glad people are not falling for it anymore. Dean Boji, thank you very much, dude. I feel bad for these people who are still buying into this shit. But okay, let me get to Dana. Sorry, I just talked for 20 minutes and didn't even get to the story yet. Okay, so hang on, let me pull this up. So I wanted to show this first because this, just real quick, because like this is the speech that they are referencing. Okay, so like this was when Dana came up on election night. So here, just watch. This is 1 minute long, just for context. All right, here you go.
Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hardworking man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelt Boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, Bustle with the Boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, so that's his speech, okay? That was his speech. Resilient. His family deserves this. This is karma, and thank you to everybody who helped. That's it, right? That's what he said. And this is what it looks like if you have actual good journalism, right? Like this is what actual journalism looks like. The Hill. UFC chief Dana White speaks on stage alongside Trump. Right, you know? And then they just literally read the exact text of what he said. That's it. Literally, that's it. That's the story. Okay. Now, let's look around at some other people who covered this story and just see if we can find any discrepancy between how this was covered there. Donald Trump hunkers down with mad MAGA cabal, including egomaniacal Elon Musk, anti-vaxxer RFK Jr., and wife beater Dana White. These people are the most pathetic pieces of shit on earth. This is going to be glorious watching them squirm and come to grips with the fact that they are talking to themselves, dude. Hey, all these other nerds in your little room that you're typing to, you're the only people who like this. Like, you guys are nobodies. You have no influence. No one gives a fuck what you think. Every time that you write something like this, a person like me is going to blow you up, and everyone's going to be like, wow, well, I'm actually looking at his face. He seems really honest. I don't necessarily have to agree with him, but he's definitely saying something he believes, and he's going to try to be honest, while you hide behind a screen and write horse shit like this. Okay? Who do you think is going to be more influential? Okay? Me or you? Okay? Me or you? Well, what do you think? You're a big deal? You have 380,000. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who watch my channel and read your bullshit. Which is going to be more influential? I'm just one of many people that have put you out of fucking business. And you can apply that to all of your nerd Hollywood friends too. Okay, listen to this shit. His inner circle so far branded a mad MAGA cabal by some commentators. Oh, really? Who branded him that? But the Republican is also reported to be creating new positions, including committee to audit the entire federal government, which tech tycoon Elon Musk is believed to be in the frame for. Geez, I wonder if that's a good idea as we fucking piss away trillions of dollars. Like, they're all, gosh, the national debt's such a huge deal. You're all right. So let's go audit like how we're spending the money. They're all, are these people insane? Musk was one of the biggest donors to the Republican Party causes over this election campaign and joined the Trump's watch party at his home in Mar-a-Lago. He also promoted rival turned endorser RFK Jr. in charge of the nation's health agencies, but not in a job with the Department of Health and Human Services. This position would be that of a self-styled health czar. Good job. Hey, good job proofreading, dude. I didn't realize czar was spelled CZA, idiot. Yeah, he said the key which President Trump has promised me is control of the public health agencies, which is HHS and sub-agencies, CDC, FDA, NIH, and a few others. Let me tell you something right now. If anybody thinks that Trump's going to renege on that, you're out of your fucking mind. That's probably the single thing that people are most excited about him doing, which is the comeuppance for all these motherfuckers that destroyed everyone's lives, dude. You know? One of the first policies would be to remove fluoride from the water. Yeah. Okay, so that's just one of them, dude. Oh, here we go. Of course. In September, Kennedy's marriage appeared to be doomed following his sexting scandal with young journalist Olivia Nuzzi. She entrapped him, by the way. But the couple now appears to be back on. Okay. So appeared to be doomed following his sexting scandal with young journalist. Okay, so young journalist entraps him. Okay, he doesn't ever hook up with her, nothing. And he's doomed. Oh my God, it seems like they're back on. Awesome journalism, dude. Hold on. Where's the one about here we go. He said on stage, surrounded by Trump and his family, this is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years is what this looks like. In reference to the hostile coverage Trump's campaign has received from the mainstream media and Democrats. Wrong, idiot. He's talking about the multiple fraudulent criminal cases that they pinned to him, the times they framed him for things that he did not do, and the media. More so, I think, though, would be when they tried to take every single thing he had when they pinned a $550 million judgment against him because he supposedly inflated his assets. Okay, that's the craziest one out of all of this. Okay, like I realize that like there are so many cases that it's hard to even keep track of them. But let me break down the one where they were going to use this to destroy him financially, because that is what they were going to do. They were going to destroy him financially and then put him in jail. That's what was going to happen. Okay, that is what their intention was. If he did not have True Social to go public with, they would have seized Mar-a-Lago. Eventually, their crown jewel was going to be to seize Trump Tower, and they were going to throw a fucking party about it because they're evil, sadistic psychopaths who think that they're the good guys, which is hilarious. And I cannot wait to see how they feel in a fucking jail cell right next to Diddy, dude. So here is what they actually did in that case. Okay. So here's the way that this works. When you apply for a loan, okay. So like when you're a real estate developer, mogul, whatever, the way that this works, if you like, you don't go and buy a $900 million, whatever, let's say a $200 million building. Okay. You don't like have $200 million in the bank and you pull it out and go buy the building. That's not how this works. Okay. You go to a bank, you apply for a loan to buy said building. And then you're either, then you run it like a business. You're either going to put into it and then you're going to sell it, or you're going to, put stuff into it and then you're going to rent the stuff out, whatever. It's like any other business, but you get the loan from the bank. Okay. When you apply for said loan, obviously you list the assets that are owned, or you're kind of like cash and assets owned by the individual / corporation, because that's how they're going to determine whether you are a borrower that's safe to lend the money to. Okay, so the same way that like when you go buy a fucking house and you're all, I want to get a mortgage, they're going to check your credit and they're going to be like, let me see your cash reserves. And, if I have $1.5 million in the bank, in stocks and whatever, and I'm trying to borrow $500,000, pretty safe bet that I'll be able to pay the mortgage versus someone who has no assets, none, and bad credit. Okay, so like it's just like that. Now, in the real estate game, you're going to list in your assets the buildings and pieces of real estate that you own. Okay. So like, obviously the the goal with your stating your assets is to show as much net worth as possible between your cash and your real estate holdings. Okay. Being upside down on a property obviously is bad, which just means you owe more than it's worth. So bottom line is you have tremendous incentive for each of your properties to be as valuable as possible. Okay. So if you have, let's say you have 5 buildings and each of them is worth $2 million. Okay. Well, you go in there and you say like, all right, this one's worth 2.2 million. This one's worth 2.3 million. And you do that based on the most favorable comps that you can possibly get. That's how you value property, is you have someone come out and they look at identical or as near to identical properties as possible and what they sold for. And you go, okay, well, if this sold for that, then this is what ours is worth. Now you can, there are some comps that are good and some that are bad in terms of like, this one makes it look more or less valuable. You always push for the absolute highest value that you can justify. And then that's what you turn in. Okay. So that's exactly what Trump did, which is in line with every single person who has ever borrowed money from a fucking bank, certainly as a real estate developer. Okay. And then the bank, who is potentially going to lend the money, they go and they assess whether or not your values that you stated are correct, right? You gave me an appraisal on this property. Is this appraisal legit or not? Okay. So they go send out their own appraiser and they decide whether or not the building is worth what you said it's worth. That's the responsibility of the bank. Okay. So Trump did all that process. They loaned him the money. Trump, used the money to do whatever projects he used it for and then paid it back in full. Okay. These loans that they used in this case were paid back in full. Bank lent it to Trump. Trump used it, paid them back. Not $1 was owed on these loans. And what they fucking charged him for was they said that he overstated his assets on the application for that loan. They said, oh, he's overstating the value of these buildings that he said he owned, that he owned on his loan application. And you're like, you mean like every single real estate investor in the history of that business? Okay. What he did is not fucking illegal. It's not fraud. And every single person who does that knows that, because it's the bank's responsibility to take your valuation and go check it to see if that's correct or not. Okay. That's on them. That's due diligence. Someone wants to borrow $200 million and they say this is what their properties are worth. You're going to go fucking check and be like, all right, I agree. That's probably about what it's worth. Okay. So they took a standard fucking procedure thing that Trump did as a business person and use it as a fake crime so that they could slap a $550 million fine against him, which I would assume they came up with because they thought that was enough to completely break him financially so they could go and steal all of his property under the auspices of absolutely no fucking reason other than that he was running for president and they didn't like him. Okay. And so that's what they did. They said he overstated the value of those buildings, which is complete horseshit. And even like wealthy people who hate Trump came out on television. They're all, this is insane. You can't charge him with this. This is standard operating procedure. It's not illegal. What the fuck are they talking about? And they did it anyway. Okay. These people did not give a fuck. Okay. And so you take that situation. They literally were going to seize Mar-a-Lago. They were going to take Trump Tower from him. You think they were going to give it back? And just by pure, he is literally being guided by a power that is beyond all of us. When they did that, Trump, Truth Social, which only existed because these stupid fucks kicked him off of Twitter thinking that was going to crush him. It's the exact opposite. Every time they try to do this, he gets stronger. So he goes public with Truth Social. He pays $300 million so he can file an appeal, which inevitably is going to get fucking reversed now. Okay. They also awarded that stupid lying bitch $83 million because she told some laughably idiotic story about he raped her in a department store. I showed that yesterday. There's a 0% chance that story is true. None, not one. Okay. $83 million there. So what? They've got $620 million in fines for something that's A, not illegal, and then B, the most laughably fake story in the history of the world. And then they charged him with this case that they're always a convicted felon, which, by the way, the entire case is based on the following. Okay. Michael Cohen, a fraudster criminal who admitted on the stand that whenever he would do the following transactions, he was juking Trump and stealing money from the organization. he would bring problems to Trump and he would go, look, hey, so we've got someone that might cause a problem in the future state. In this case, Stormy Daniels. He's like, look, so you had an affair with her. I caught the story. She said, we could get her to sign an NDA for $100,000, and so we'll go take care of that. Trump's like, there are literally recordings of Trump talking to Cohen saying, okay, just make sure it's legal. Cohen is his attorney. Okay. If you're a business person, how do you know whether you are doing something legal or illegal? You talk to your attorney, and his attorney told him that what they were doing was legal, and they were giving $100,000 to a girl that he had an affair with, which is certainly not illegal, so that she would not go public with her story. Okay. And so Michael Cohen paid the $100,000 personally, and then they reimbursed Michael Cohen in the form of $100,000 from the campaign, which he billed as legal fees. Okay. And so they're like, well, ipso facto, he was actually paying for hush money that went to Stormy Daniels, but to the campaign, they said that it was legal fees, when in actuality, it was actually hush money, that went to Stormy Daniels. At worst, it's a misdemeanor for mischaracterizing a transaction on your taxes. That's the worst. And that had well past statute of limitations. And somehow they turned that into 34 fucking felony counts that they stacked the deck in that court case for, and ended up convicting him on all of them. There's no underlying case. There's absolutely no legal person who agrees that was a crime. Everyone who knows anything knows this is a fraudulent horseshit case, and they fucking did it anyway, dude. These are the good guys. Those are the good guys. Those are the good guys. Okay? Because why? Because they don't like him. Oh, they don't like him. He's a political rival. So they're going to break him financially, put him in jail, convict him of fake felonies, just straight up out in the open when everybody sees exactly what they're doing. So they clearly don't care about the country. Okay. They don't think about the fact that you're setting a new precedent that now former presidents can just get prosecuted if you don't like them. Hey, I have a feeling they're not going to like how that plays out in reverse now, And so this is fucking karma. That's exactly what this is. It's the world you created. You guys set the fucking rules. And the problem is that this side's not going to have to create anything. They're just going to prosecute you for the shit you actually did. Do you know what I mean? So fuck these people. Anyway, let's continue on with more absolute fucking nonsense. Okay, so this was a good one. So the ultimate fighting election, how Donald Trump's third run for president got so ensnared with the brutal sport he loves, and how millions of fans got caricatured in the process. I actually, before I even read this, because I've read it, I really want to look what this guy looks like up, because I have a feeling I already know. Let's see here. Nope, that's definitely not him. I don't think. Oh, yeah. This has to be him. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so I went to a UFC event just to see exactly what's going on there, and let me tell you how I interpreted what I saw. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. Okay, anyway. So that's who wrote this. At the ceremonial weigh-ins for an Ultimate Fighting Championship event in Las Vegas over the summer, I could see why the fandom of this immensely popular MMA promotion has become something of a MAGA boogeyman in the 2024 election. Behind me at the T-Mobile Arena, a row of young white guys. These fucking people, dude. These people are so insane. Like, how would you interpret that if I'm writing this on like a group of fucking Indian guys? You know, like, who notates racial group of people and then calls the other side racist? Like, literally, if I saw 3 UFC fans that were of Indian descent, that would never even cross my mind. These 3 Indian guys, I literally would never even notice that. A row of young white guys started yelling, "We love you, Joe Rogan," whenever their favorite podcaster, sporting a Black Rifle Coffee t-shirt, announced each of the fighters on stage. Here we go. Ready? And then all but hooted and beat their chest every time an American showed up to compete against a foreign fighter. Racist, racist, racist. Fucking pathetic, dude. Later, while I waited to take a piss, he actually wrote that. Listen to that. Were you trying to like man up, dude? You trying to man up? That's not how actual men like you're pretending to be talk. Okay. You think if I'm writing an article, I want to go take a piss, bro. Take a fucking piss. Fucking weirdos, man. Later, while waiting to take a piss, a pair of dudes almost got into a fight in the stadium's men's bathroom over their personal space. Made up story. Made up story. That's made up. That's not real. Okay. I've been to 1,000 of these events. Okay. I've never seen two guys almost get in a fight in the bathroom. You're telling me that this fucking twink weirdo went to one event and went to the bathroom once, and then he happened to see this event that I've never seen, having gone, literally my sample size is 1,000 times the size of his, but okay, sure, bud. In the stands, I saw one kid rocking a t-shirt with the Trump mugshot and another wearing a tee with the notoriously homophobic Sean Strickland juxtaposed with an American flag. Heading into the gender gap election, the loudest bros of the UFC world were looking rather Trumpy. Jesus, man. This is amazing, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I really thought that like after Trump won, I'd be like, let's just all unify. But I'm sorry. I can't get down with this, dude. I'm going to ridicule these people. Like, you guys are pathetic. It seems so obvious at first. Where did Donald Trump himself go for comfort after he was convicted of 34 felonies in New York? To a UFC showdown in New Jersey, where he arrived to roaring applause and launched his campaign's TikTok account. Who's been working at it as his campaign spokesman since 2016? The former UFC comms guy, Stephen Chung, who introduced Trump at the Republican National Convention in lieu of his wife, Melania. None other than UFC CEO Dana White, marking the executive's third consecutive RNC address on behalf of the longtime friend and former business partner. White and Trump's friendship goes way back early 2000s, blah, blah, blah. Dude, do you hear like how the tone of this is like the fact that his camps, like who's been working as former UFC comms guy, Stephen Chung, is working on Trump's campaign? Like, as if that's some huge, like, gotcha. This guy is actually working on the Trump campaign, and he used to work for UFC. You're like, yeah, I know. That's how that works. People meet people, and then they hire them. You know? Like, think about the dude, you know, that you met at the bar on Grindr, and then he introduced you to his roommate who worked at Slate, and that's how you ended up getting this job, you know? Like, people can meet people other ways aside from Grindr. And then that's how things happen professionally, you know? And who got Trump to adopt a different media strategy from last time, introducing him to all the reactionary light influencers who have been eagerly hosting Trump on their podcast? All the reactionary light influencers? Oh, you mean the most influential voices in the world now? Is that what you meant by that? Introducing him to all the reactionary light influencers. So you mean like Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, the Nelk Boys, etc. Like, you know, and like Valuetainment, like actually the people who genuinely have influence, which you guys used to have in the old world before you guys, you know, jerked yourselves off into absolute obscurity and complete fucking irrelevance. Project Constitution, thank you very much for the super chat. This is the actual Great Reset. I agree with you, dude. God, embrace, yeah. Eagerly hosting White again, who shares with his pal a tendency to denigrate the mainstream media and embrace the friendly bros, e.g. Theo Vaughn, who command a wide audience of young American men. Yeah. You know who doesn't do that? You. You know what I mean? Like, you don't command a large audience of anybody. And in the years since White endorsed Trump's 2016 candidacy, quite a few popular fighters have ramped up their bigoted rhetoric. Bigoted rhetoric. Conor McGregor, the brash, arrogant former champion of Ireland, baited his nemesis, Khabib Nurmagomedov, a stoic generational talent from Dagestan, by personally insulting him and his family with Islamophobic remarks. Oh, yeah, because that's definitely connected to the Trump campaign, you stupid fuck. They make it impossible. Like, I want to be nice. I can't, dude. I can't do it. I'm a sheepdog, though, okay? For the record. I'm not like you guys saw, dude, the girl that was crying, you know, and like she's like, I just don't understand. Like, do they just like not care about my concerns? I feel like I feel bad for her, right? I just want to like sit her down and be like, look, let me just explain to you what's actually happening. This shit, fuck this guy, dude. I will torch these idiots all day, every day. Like, I would rather be friend. Anybody who knows me or has watched my career at all knows I will always go to friendship over enemies unless people give me no choice by crossing whatever line, and then I will fuck their ass fucking raw. And these people, this is unforgivable misrepresentation of what's going on. I'm going to eat them alive, dude. I can't help it. Cole, by the way, hey, who do you think Khabib supported in the election, guy? You know, just judging off of his entire social circle in the UFC, you know, Ali Abdelaziz was front and center. Donald Trump. I literally just talked to Ali about that yesterday, about how awesome it was. Like, because anything that takes away from their ability to call him racist, and Ali, you know, being an Egyptian American who's here, like Muslim, doing what he's doing, like that's a big deal. It's like, you know, because you want to paint shit like this, and it's like, oh, really? Then how come Ali Abdelaziz, the most visible professional, you know, agent in mixed martial arts, is passionately promoting Donald Trump? Oh, because he's so fucking racist? Morons. Colby Covington, who has made MAGA his whole brand, made racist comments against black UFC fighters Tyron Woodley and Kamaru Usman that earned mass pushback from the other mixed martial artists. Hey, Kamaru Usman is a Trumper, for the record. Okay? That earned mass pushback from other mixed martial artists. Sean Strickland has repeatedly mused that women should go back to the kitchen. Oh, yeah, because he was totally serious as opposed to trolling morons like you into writing about him. Instead of appearing in the ring. All three have plenty of fans who've stuck by them and defended all those actions. Recent features in national outlets have called UFC a MAGA breeding ground and a platform for MAGA ideology, suggesting its fan base is being primed to vote for Trump almost uniformly. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is like, they literally write this stuff as if they literally live in a world where they really believe that if you find out that a person was going to vote for Trump, that they're like some weird lesser life form. And it's like, hey, bitch, the world is the exact inverse of how you thought it was. You guys are the minority. And if you think that everybody who's voting, like, and their new talk track, this is my favorite, actually. My favorite thing is that their new talk track is like, oh my God, like the only reason that they're voting for him is because they're not successful and they're poor and they can't afford their groceries. It's like, dude, get a better job, man. Like, why don't you just get an education and get a better job? Like, that is like, I can always pick up like when like a talk track is kind of like floating around because a bunch of people will say it. And like, that's how they're coping with this. Because they can't cope with the fact that like they are losers on the losing team and like that they fundamentally are the out group, not the in group. They're like, oh yeah, the only reason that they went that way is because I'm better than them. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's what they're literally telling themselves. They're voting that way because I'm better than them and I can afford my groceries. I'm like, bitch, I made more than you in the last week than you'll make. Well, whatever. I make way more money than you, slate nerd. Okay. So tell yourself another story. What else you got, dude? What else? Because we're racist. Or because we're homophobic. We're homophobic. except we carpool our kids with a gay couple that are like our next door neighbors we hang out with all the time. What else you got, dude? You're racist against blacks. Oh, really? You want to ask any of the super close black friends that I have who we literally never even fucking talk about race because we're not weirdos like you? The 3 young white guys. These people are the absolute like bane of society, dude. Just like a garbage dump of ideas. This is going to be really fun reading all their horse shit. This is unbelievable. Okay, listen to this. But the personal perspective of fans, even the proudly liberal top UFC fighters, which would be who exactly? Who are the proudly liberal top UFC fighters? Has been notably missing in these kind of stories. But why do you think that is? It's because anyone who has testosterone over like 150 is on our team. Okay. If you just went to the doctor and got your testosterone levels checked and fixed, you'd probably be on our team in a week. Mixed martial arts, which also extends far outside UFC, is a $12 billion industry with a lot of global fans, millions of regular viewers per match across pay-per-view and cable, commanding the attention of an estimated 20% of the U.S. youth demographic. The overwhelming majority of these being men, even though women viewers are catching up. And this is hilarious. Like, oh, you look at you used Google. You found some statistics online about the industry, and not all UFC fans and fighters love Trump back. 98%. Almost an entire arena of them. Oh, wow. That's a fucking lie. You guys hear about that? When an entire arena booed Trump? Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, right, bud. That is laughably not true. The only place he could have gotten that is from a doctored TikTok. Like literally like where Trump walks in and they doctored some boo fucking audio track behind it. Unbelievable, dude. That's a complete lie, dude. The UFC roster includes black and brown women, Muslims, LGBTQ fighters, and nationals of at least 78 different countries. Right. And they're all voting for Trump. Nerd. More than a few of its current and former stars have explicitly spoken out against Trump in favor of Kamala Harris. Who specifically? Chris Curtis. I like Chris Curtis. I'm not going to break his balls, but Chris Curtis is the only one that I've seen. Okay. And in support of Palestine and Black Lives Matter. Okay, well, let's be specific. Jake Shields, support of Palestine, definitely not Black Lives Matter. Tyron Woodley, Black Lives Matter. But I don't think that Tyron Woodley is super aligned with the LGBTQ, have biological men competing against women. It's one of those things, like if you want to group everything together, you're going to like just get people like, yeah, I'm down with that, but definitely not down with that because only fucking psychos would be down with all of that nonsense. Okay. So, here you go. Here, MMA junkie. Dana White goes full MAGA during Donald Trump victory speech, thanks to mighty powerful Joe Rogan. It's an interesting strategy. Very interesting strategy as an MMA media outlet, given that we all know it's like 98% support for Trump. And so you're like, yeah, Dana White goes full MAGA. And then listen to this. Despite his hiatus as a political pariah 4 years ago, former President Donald Trump pulled off a decisive victory over Vice President Kamala Harris. Derp. I mean, I don't even understand, how do people think that it is appropriate to, they use MAGA as a defamatory. See, look at this. Dana White reveals dark MAGA future at Trump victory speech. Dark MAGA. By the way, that's their new talking point too. Dark MAGA. Now, you guys remember, I showed you guys the video. Did that seem like a dark MAGA thing? Did that sound like anything dark other than him saying they all attacked him and look at he came out on the other side like this? That's karma. Interesting. especially given what they actually did to him, especially given what they actually did to him. And all he said was, no one's been attacked. His family's, he deserves this. He's resilient, and this is karma. Dark MAGA. Interesting. Let's see how they can support that statement. So, what? Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. This is amazing. Okay, listen to this. White went on to shout out major manosphere influencers, many of whom are thought to have had a direct impact on the men who voted for Trump. Listen to this. Aiden Ross's streams have been a safe place for sexism and general lowbrow bigotry for some time now. The 24-year-old has been banned from Twitch 8 separate times for using a homophobic slur and for hateful conduct. Earlier this year, Trump joined Aiden Ross's live stream per Barron Trump's suggestion and was gifted a Rolex live on stream. The Nelk Boys have similarly used their podcast to platform right-wing demagogues like Tucker Carlson to young men. Theo Vaughn and Bussin' with the Boys are slightly tamer versions of these acts, and the infamous Joe Rogan, forefather to them all. This strange lineup of famous podcasters with dubious ties to the alt-right is just a sign of how dangerous and unserious a future Trump cabinet will be. Oh my God, this is priceless. Who wrote this, dude? Who wrote this fucking article, man? Malcolm Ferguson. Oh my God. That is so funny, dude. Yeah, because you know what? They're not serious like people who write for the New Republic and definitely know what's up. Unlike those guys who say homophobic slurs on Twitch. And wait, what the fuck? Wait a minute. What? No, Malcolm. Oh, okay. That was weird. I thought, dude, it pulled up the same. Let's see. Wait, which one was that in? That was in New Republic. No. Oh, the Atlantic. The worst of all of them. Is this him? Yes, here we go. Hello. I think all these manosphere guys are very problematic. For the record, guys, I am pulling their photos up just so that you can see that these guys are not like us. I am in no way suggesting that you go break their balls or anything like that. And I'm really not. I'm just showing you, like, if I was going to classify the world into pussies and people I would hang out with, you know what I mean? Oh, man. Anyway, all right. So Victor, thank you very much, dude. First time catching you live betas. Exactly, dude. Larry, thank you for the great cut. Jesse and Gabrielle. Yep. Jesse and Gabrielle, you are very welcome. Thank you for your super chat, good sir. Dangerous Damien. I know they're still counting Nevada and Arizona, but isn't it a bit weird that it still ends up around the same national vote he got in 2020? You think that, you would think he would have a bigger, all it shows is that they, in my opinion, must have cheated in 2020. And in Arizona, I was talking about this with my buddy earlier, they're still counting the votes. Hey, do you find it a little bit weird that Kari Lake is supposedly losing that race? Really? So Trump won by, hang on, let me look at the exact numbers, okay? Because this is like laughably not real. And I'm hoping that this is a trap that they're going to get caught for. Okay, so here you go. So Donald Trump at the time, when they were 80% reported in Arizona, Donald Trump had 1.385 million votes. Kamala Harris had 1.23 million votes. So Trump up by 150,000 votes. Okay. Carrie Lake has 1.25 million votes, while Ruben Gallego has 1.3 million votes. So how is it that those numbers seem to have flip-flopped? You know what I mean? Like, so you're telling me that there were, let's see, so 1.3, yeah. So there are like 130,000 so far voters who voted for Trump and then did not vote for Carrie Lake and voted for the Democrat guy against Carrie Lake, his number one supporter, literally across the entire country, his number one supporter who exposed the deep state, who tried to make her a deal and write her a blank check just so she wouldn't run in this. So they were like, yeah, Trump, but not that Carrie Lake. That would for sure be the most tandem vote in the history of tandem votes. So listen, I am not saying I have evidence of anything because you can't say that. But if you have common sense, does that sound like that makes any sense to you guys? Fuck no. And they already cheated her out of the other one, in my opinion. There's no way that she lost that midterm election. None. But that's my opinion. Again, T Wood is woke, and Ian Gary seems like he would be as well. My favorite YouTube channel. Much love, brother. We fucking did Trump. Thank you very much. And listen, if I were going to evaluate the Gary household, I would just go to certain things his wife had said publicly. Like there are certain phrases that give them away. You know what I mean? Like if a person says misogynistic and they're serious, doesn't that sound a little misogynistic? If someone says that and they're serious, you're like, woke, woke. I mean, it's possible that there's someone who is completely 100% disconnected from from politics. That's the only option though, right? It's like, if a person says like, I don't know, does that sound a little bit misogynistic? The only way that they are not a straight up wokester is if they have not paid attention to anything related to culture in Western society for the last 7 years. But it seems almost impossible. And for her, she's an influencer that's habitually online. That's not possible, which means, yes, she is a wokester and he's married to her and she has remained a wokester who would say misogynist, which means he has not converted her to what we are, which he's probably struggling with because that guy is not a Democrat. I mean, bottom line, the only way that guy would be on that side, I mean, it doesn't matter. He's in Ireland anyway, but the only way that he would be on that side is if he is pussy whipped. That's a big telltale sign. Okay. If you got a dude where you look, you're like, all right, this guy's obviously one of us. He might be an asshole. He's one of us. And it's like, and he's like the lone person on the other side of a fence. And you're all, oh, that's weird. And you're like, what's his home life? It's like, he's married to a girl who's much older than him. And he also has her ex-husband traveling around with them everywhere. And she posted a video of them online where she made him sing and dance like a total pussy. And she posted it online to emasculate him when she was mad at him. And she's definitely woke. You're all feel like I can back into that one. You know what I mean? Jesse, did you see the report? Kamala owing 20 million spent on her? I did see that. And honestly, you know what I was thinking about that? I was just looking at all the things, think about it's a beautiful thing, actually. You think about how Trump ran his campaign. Okay. Trump is putting on events that people are that are in such high demand. People are buying tickets to go. Actually, I don't even know if Trump, I assume you have to buy tickets to go to a Trump rally. I'm sure he's not trying to make a bunch of money, but at least trying to recuperate their expense, right? It's like, he's throwing these huge events. Everyone goes there. They make a huge thing. And then he's going around to these different podcasts that have tremendous reach. That's just smart, authentic marketing of an individual who was trying to win office, right? And then you go to her side where they vomited, I think it was 100 and, I don't know, 100 and, I think including the 20 million, it's 160 or something $million in the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, how do you spend that money? What that means to me is they are throwing money everywhere. You know what I mean? Every one of these celebrity endorsers, people are like, oh, probably blackmail from Diddy, which it probably was, but also probably a really big paycheck also. like a real big paycheck. They got that. They got to spend that money. It's for the campaign. So they're just like throwing money to these people who have no influence, wasted money. Okay. Oh, Taylor Swift endorsed him. Oh, wow. And Beyonce came to my event and she talked for 5 minutes, probably because they're like, hey, do you think you could sing a song? She's like, bitch, that costs another 8 million. They're like, fuck, we could probably get, like if she's just going to be there for like 5 minutes in Houston and it's her hometown, let's just pay her the 6 million and then she'll talk for like 10 minutes. That's probably a better use, because for 8 million, we can get all of the Avengers in Hollywood for a conference call. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a fucking joke. It's just outright superficial, fake nonsense versus a person who's completely willing to just sit down for multiple hours and answer any question that you give him one-on-one. And that's why he destroyed her, MTG, thank you very much. That is extraordinarily generous. I appreciate you, dude. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the shot of brains and straight up honesty, Jesse. Racist, sexist, etc. in every faction of life on the left, right, and center. I'm so tired of the finger pointing by the Dems on this, dude. Exactly. Like, that's why it's so extra repulsive, is because the actual people who create this environment are doing it intentionally. Whether or not you consider them racist or not is up for debate. But what they definitely are doing is they know that there is an emotional vulnerability with certain types of people that they are exploiting by, making them feel as if they are under attack and that everyone hates them. And that if anybody votes for this guy, the reason they're doing it is because they hate you and anyone who's like you. They really make them believe that. You know what I mean? And like, now I will acknowledge, like, these people who try to characterize everybody that way really piss me off and I'll light them up. But just your average everyday person who's like, I don't understand, man. I'm just black. Why do they hate me? Like, that's fucked, man. Like, I'm here to tell you that's not true. No one voted for Trump because they dislike you or any other racial group, or even gay people, or even trans people, as long as they don't want to beat the shit out of girls in sports. Just stay in your fucking lane. Stop pushing the boundaries to the point where you make us push back. Like, that whole entire thing is fucking ridiculous. It's like, oh, we want to have gay marriage. And it's like, all right. That would be completely unreasonable for us not to, like, yeah, you want to be able to, like, legally marry each other? Go ahead, dude. They're like, all right, well, we had to fight our asses off to get that. It's like, all right, well, whatever. Now it's socially normal now. So let's all just relax. They're all, well, we also would like you to call me they, them. You're like, what? They're like, we want you to call me they, them. Like, I want to be referred to as they, them. You're all, that's a plural. Like, that's not even English. Yes, but I identify as gender non-binary. You're like, okay, the gay marriage thing is just me being like, dude, do whatever you want, man. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. How would it hurt me if you get married? I encourage you to get married and to have an incredibly happy marriage your entire life. I hope you guys take each other out and court each other forever and live a long life in love. Because what the fuck does that have to do with me? Do whatever you want. I want everybody to be happy. But now you're asking me to change the English language specifically for you to entertain some shit that is not real. And you're going to call me homophobic if I won't call you they, them? What are you talking about? You see, homophobia. And you're like, that's not homophobia. This is just like, this is an unreasonable ask. And then they're like, oh, the girl who won the state championship in track? And you're like, oh yeah, that girl was really muscular. Well, it's actually a dude. That's actually a dude. That's why they won by so much. But it's actually not a dude. It was because, Chris was born a woman. And you're like, no, Chris is born a man. Well, he didn't realize until, he grew a little older that he was actually a girl. You're like, and how did they realize that? He knew. She knew that she had always been a woman. You're all okay. But Chris has a penis. Yes. I would like to call it a she-ness, actually. She has a she-ness. Okay. So the person who won on the girls' side, who broke all the state records, the one you're talking about, on the girls' side, has a penis. Yes. Isn't she amazing? No, that's ridiculous. That is why we have separated sports. Of course, that's bullshit. Why do you think we have girls' divisions? Because dudes are bigger, stronger, faster, and better at sports than girls. Why would it's not fair? Oh, so you're one of these people who thinks that there are biological differences between men and women. That is such old school, idiotic thinking. It's provably false. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What? Oh, what? So you don't think that she has the right to compete against women? Okay, first of all, he doesn't have the right to compete against women. Now, look, if this dude wants to wear a dress and throw a fucking wig on, and then I end up out to dinner with him and he wants me to, call me Christina, and if I use pronouns, say she, her, fine. I'm not an asshole. Okay. Clearly, this person is making a really valiant effort to look like a girl. If they want me to refer them as a girl, that's no sweat off my back. I don't really care. But you want me to not only do that, but you want me to call you Zer them. You want me to just sit by and watch you destroy girls in sports. You want me to be cool with you going and changing in the fucking locker room with girls when, hey, so you're a girl now. Are you attracted to boys then? No, I'm a lesbian. I'm attracted to women. Okay, and so you're a dude that is going to go into the locker room and watch women get undressed naked, young girls, teenagers, college or high school. And because you say you're a woman, we are supposed to open all of those doors for you. So you get to creep on them in the locker room, go out, beat the shit out of them in sports, and then have retards like the people who wrote those articles in the media call you brave and the woman of the year. That's the world you want. Yes. Are you not all right with that? Fuck no, I'm not all right with that. Okay. How about you try on a fucking pair of fuck no? No. Okay. This is called, you think you just push forever. And the thing is, they could when they had Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, cable television, YouTube, any single platform where ideas were shared. If you were like, this is ridiculous, this is a biological man beating a girl, and they're like, you, sir, are spreading hate speech, and you are going to be sanctioned for that. All of a sudden, you live in clown world where you're supposed to literally, like, it's like they were, on the top of the Empire State Building, and they were just taking like mugs and throwing them off, and they're like crashing on the ground, and every once in a while they'll hit a person, the person gets killed, they're throwing them down, and you're like, dude, who's throwing them? They're like, hey, relax, man. You have a problem with that? You're like, yeah, I have a problem. They're killing people on the street. They're like, they're gay though. So those guys up there, they're gay and trans. You're like, so what? They're throwing shit and killing people on the street. They're like, well, they don't mean anything by it. They just want to live their life. And part of their life is just throwing things off the Empire State Building, and wherever they land, they land. If people get hurt, they're just living their truth, man. You have a fucking problem with that? Yes, I do. Well, you probably are one of those toxic MAGA guys. It's ridiculous. And so, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this next phase where it's the inverse. And in case you guys haven't been paying attention, I've been saying this from the beginning. Zuckerberg is with us now. Okay? Zuck's with us. Zuckerberg does jujitsu, does mixed martial arts. He hangs out with the same people I hang out with, different people, but the same crew. You can't be in our social circle and be a leftist weirdo. You can't do it, dude. You'll have no peers, and you'll start talking to people very quickly and recognize like, oh, this is like a smart, normal dude. And you really think that like, that's a hard argument to make, the one I just made. And so all of a sudden when he's like, I'm a libertarian now, and on 4th of July, he's got a fucking American flag and he's wakeboarding. Like it's real. He's not faking it. The reason that Meta is still doing the same stupid shit that they did before is because there is an enormous apparatus at that company that is filled with these wokester weirdos who live in a little bubble. And like, I don't know if Zuckerberg could do it by himself, even though he's the founder and CEO of the company. He can't just like, hey, we're all libertarian just because he is. You know what I mean? But again, Elon doing what he's doing forces their hand. They can't be draconian anymore because everyone will just move to their competitive product, you know? Giggle Puff, thank you very much, dude. Much love, brother. I'm still smiling from the election results. Trump is about to revamp the whole shit show and clean house. I love this country and this channel. Much love to you and the fam. Thank you very much, dude. I appreciate the support, and I feel exactly the same. It's like, I mean, I'm not going to be doing this forever. And well, actually, that's not true. Every time that people write this kind of shit, I will do it, dude. It's like, it's just absolutely infuriating, you know? Like you can't just do this and expect us not to, you know, light you up for it, dude. What's this one about? Why Trump has found such a loyal male audience? Oh my God. I was like, dude, I knew there was another one I wanted to show. MSNBC. Okay. So this one's about you guys. Okay. This one's about me and you guys. Ready? Okay. Why Trump has found such a loyal male audience in the world of mixed martial arts. Ready? The common thread here is insecurity, specifically the insecurity of men anxious about their place in a changing world. Oh, is that what it is? Is that what it is? Really? Or do you think that it's a bunch of people that have common sense and recognized what you were doing was insane, and we don't like insane shit that affects our families? If you want to go do insane shit over there, do whatever you want, dude. If you want to have a bunch of dudes that fight women to the death in some kind of organization over there that we're not involved in, if we don't see it on television, we won't know about it. So you guys can hold your own death matches over there. If you want to do racetrack stuff, you know, all the biological men against all the like woke women. And they're like, God, they're just so good. It's so amazing to see how fast girls have gotten, even if they have a penis. Rock and roll, dude. But you come into institutionally set places like NCAA sports, high school sports that all of us are in. You have forced it down our throat. It's not about insecurity, you fucking idiot. New analysis from the New Republic this week highlights UFC's deep links to Donald Trump. Oh my God. No. Links to Donald Trump, a conservative extremism more broadly. This is fucking pathetic, dude. The influential MMA organization, Sam Egan writes, is betting that it can leverage right-wing politics to become a massive sports organization. Trump, meanwhile, has embraced it as an extension of his own brash and violent brand and as a means of reaching young men. Oh my God. They're like, I don't understand. We offered them dresses and acceptance if they wanted to finger their best friend's butthole. And they offered cage fights, and some people said they prefer to watch cage fights. It's so homophobic and weird. The UFC and MMA in general has long attracted right-wing fans. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I voted for Obama twice. So if right-wing means common sense person who's not a Twinkie weirdo, then I guess that whatever. Extremists have used the sports counterculture mystique to entice and radicalize disenfranchised young men and to provide them a shared space to spread their ideology. Journalist Kareem Zidane argues in his Sports Politica newsletter. They have also used the sport to whitewash their activities and normalize their existence, primarily through interweaving themselves into local fight scenes and culture. Now Trump is looking to take advantage. Ugh. You know, listen to me try to sound smart while I say nonsense, you know? Like, let's just be real here. I am the kind of person who recognizes insecure men when I see them. And if a man works out, trains any kind of martial art, looks like he could beat me in a fight, guess what? He's an insecure little bitch. And that is just what it is. Bob just had a super chat. Just felt right. Thank you for the super chat, good sir. But the implication, whoa. But the implications of the UFC's pivot rightward go beyond the 2024 presidential election and highlight a larger Western crisis of masculinity. The language of alpha MMA fighters like Sean Strickland is deeply familiar to anyone who spent any time studying men's right activists and incel culture. Okay. You know what this idiot should do is he should go watch the documentary, the Red Pill. Let me make sure that I have that right because this is a fantastic documentary, dude. Hold on. Yes, the Red Pill. Okay. The documentary called The Red Pill was made by a hyper leftist feminist who was so bothered by the men's rights movement that she set out to make an expose about them. Okay, like she was straight up like, I'm not doing anything else. I'm just going to focus all my energy on this expose I'm going to do about these scumbag men's rights guys. Okay, she's a feminist, like such a hardcore feminist that she took on this project. You know what happened? She did a 100% political 180 and was like, holy shit, these guys have 100% genuine concerns. All of the things, these are not bad guys at all. These are people who have been destroyed by the system. And now I'm hanging out with these people I used to call my colleagues, and they're psychopaths. It's a fantastic documentary. And she like walks you through her entire like journey from where she started to where she is now. And guess what happened when the movie came out? They fucking destroyed. None of them actually were like, maybe I should like watch the movie and see if there's a reason that I might be on the wrong side of this. No. They found out what the movie was, and then they shit on her. They canceled her, and they just, because they're disgusting, evil, absolutely fucking trapped in a bubble of virtue that is not actually real. I hate these people, man. If they like, go watch the movie. If you watch the movie and then you want to light it up and say that you have a problem with things that they were in there, fine. But when you start the article off that you refuse to watch the movie, then shut the fuck up, idiot. You're exactly like the red-haired psycho that's in the movie. Anyway, Trump's rhetoric mimics many of these ideas too, from the notorious recording in which he appeared to brag about sexually assaulting women. I will tell you right now, I will never be dissuaded by this unless someone proves otherwise. I think he got duped. I think that they deep faked his voice just in that one line, dude. I think they had the thing where he's like, oh, it might be hot. Hey, it might be kissing him later. And I think they were like, it's not quite enough. And I think they fucking stuck that grab him by the pussy line into that recording. And it was before deepfakes, and Trump, it was 10 years ago, because his reaction to it, he's like, I don't talk like that, but he's on tape, dude. Like, I mean, honestly, even myself, I've never said that. You know what I mean? So like, I've never said that. I've probably joked about that with my best friends after this event, but like, I know for 100% sure I would never say that like on a bus of people that I'm there doing a show for, you know what I mean? Like, and if I did say it, would be a complete joke with my best friends. But if I heard my own voice on tape and it was 10 years ago, I might be like, fuck, I don't know, dude. I can't believe I said that. I don't even fucking talk like that. And then I might go out and apologize and then have the Hillary Clinton campaign like, got him. That is my opinion on that particular thing that happened. But nonetheless, talking about points he espouses about family, freedom, and God. Oh my God. Trump's rhetoric mimics many of these ideas, from the notorious recording in which he appeared to brag about sexually assaulting women to the talking points he espouses about, quote, family, freedom, and God. Oh, wow. What a terrible fucking nightmare. He talked about family, freedom, and God. Jesus, he does sound like Adolf. Family, freedom, and God. To his endorsement of law and order and his anti-immigration messaging and his vow to stop gender-affirming care for minors. Oh my God, he's going to stop doctors from making $180,000 to mutilate the sex organs of a child not old enough to enlist in the army. He's basically a psychopathic sociopath. Fucking joke. These people are, okay. Rachel Gilmore says, looks like this MMA fighter is a big insecure baby who likes to punch down. Sean Strickland went on an unhinged anti-LGBT rant after a reporter audaciously asked him, okay, Strickland says things publicly I wouldn't say. He's like the ultimate extreme that's like a fuck you to them, but
A professional athlete just said some of the most disgusting anti-gay, anti-trans bullshit I have ever heard. And so far, he has faced 0 consequences. Like his big money-making event is still set to take place, still at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, and it's still in 2 days.
Oh my God. They should cancel the entire event. He doesn't agree with you. Cancel it all. He's the headlining event. Cancel it all, because you've really thought this through, right? Just fire everybody. Get rid of everybody. Everybody who worked on the event. Get out of here because Sean Strickland said a thing that you didn't like. Shut the fuck up, dude. I love the new world where we just get to tell them, shut up, dude. Just shut your face.
So, TikTok, it might be time to do your thing. Let me tell you why. This human thumb, Sean Strickland, the guy in the Women Belong in the Kitchen t-shirt, so original.
Yeah, he's trolling you.
He is an MMA fighter. And yesterday, MMA journalist Alexander Lee asked him about disgusting comments he had made in the past about the LGBTQ community. Specifically that time that Strickland said if he had a gay son, it would mean he failed as a man. This seems like a guy who's...
I'm not signing off on that for the record. But I also don't care that he said it. I'm not signing off on that, but I don't care that he said it.
Super secure in his masculinity. Anyways, before Lee could even finish his question, Strickland launched into a gnarly tirade. Here's a taste.
Are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're part of the fucking problem.
Oh, but he didn't stop there. He also went on to attack the trans community.
10 years ago, to be trans was a mental fucking illness. And now all of a sudden, people like you have fucking weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. You're right. Fucking chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are 2 genders.
His comments were then...
Again, Sean is a cage fighter, okay? It's not his job to make sure that he structures his arguments in a very succinct and digestible manner and then delivers them to the world. They asked him a fucking question in a press conference about a fucking cage fight, and he answered it. And I could tell he's like trying to connect his thoughts. He's not doing a great job doing it. And then he didn't do a great job answering the question, because what he meant to say, or what he was trying to get at, was 10 years ago, okay, being trans was a mental illness that was rare and some people would do whatever. However, now because of people like you who have turned it into a thing where like now you have kids like who think it's cool to be trans. That's the world you created, which means that they now are going on puberty blockers and they're doing all this stuff. And then you have the doctors that, medical industrial complex that's like, wait, how much money do we make if a kid goes trans? And they're like, God damn. Wait, so how much just for the surgery? They're like 6 figures just for the surgery. And they're like, let's go, dude. Let's get after it. Listen, we need to be more accepting of these children. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen a map of how many gender affirming clinics there are now versus 10, 15 years ago? It's unbelievable. There were like 7 in the country, whenever this was. And now there's they're uncountable. That's the point he's making. He's not saying that there's no trans people. He's saying you can't just normalize it to the point where you have children aspiring to do a thing that's going to make them never have children, never have a normal functioning sex life. And also have women getting beat by biological men in sports, which is the fucking serious breaking point for all people with a brain.
And praise on far-right messaging boards where they said things like absolutely savage and I love this man, because there's nothing ballsier than attacking vulnerable, marginalized communities.
Oh yeah, because that's definitely how the community is played out over like during this period. Because yeah, over the last 10 years, that's for sure who the attack communities was. Like someone's all, hey, I don't think that they should have to compete against biological men. They're all, hey, well, you just got your social media deleted. They're all, my entire life runs off my social media. Like literally, that's all I do for a living. They're all, well, you shouldn't have questioned the trans ideology because now you're done. And she's like, yes, get that scumbag out of here with his dangerous ideas. They're like, he literally just said he doesn't think it's fair for biological men to beat women in sports. And she's like, right. So you destroy his life? That's not just a conversation you want to have? No, it's not. Those are dangerous right-wing ideological ideas that should not be shared. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. Yeah, because they're marginalized. Not you guys were protecting even the slightest pushback against the most like aggressive push of that ideology with draconian measures equivalent to dropping a nuclear bomb on their fucking life. Marginalized groups. Fucking joke.
Now that is brave. Beyond a handful of articles and some mixed commentary online, this dude has emerged from this totally unscathed. And my question about that is, what message are we sending to the trans community? What message does it send to the gay community? What message does it send to the far-right transphobes who are cheering this on?
Transphobes. I thought she said the far-right trans folks. Well, I can translate that for you. No one has any issue with gay people, or if they do, it's a very, very small group. That's not what's happening here. Okay. Again, reasonable acceptance, right? Like reasonable acceptance. Want to get married? Get married. You want to be gay? Be gay. You got someone who's trans? Cool. Basing the entire corporate structure around promoting being trans is a little bit different than what I just described as being like, whatever, I don't care what anybody does. Literally building all of corporate media to promote the idea that being trans is now the coolest thing you can do is a little bit different than, these people's view of the world is so crazy to me. I don't even understand.
And watching Scotiabank Arena welcome this human pimple with open arms. Is Toronto actually okay with this? My money's on no. So if you agree, I'd recommend you get loud about it.
Yeah. It's time for us to just gangbang him online and make sure we take everything from him, because you know what? We can't let people who say things like this succeed in the world. Get loud, TikTok. Fuck you, girl. Welcome to the new world. It does give me tremendous, again, like when people mess with people's livelihoods, that's like my so I'm not gonna lie. I am getting a lot of satisfaction thinking about how unhappy this girl is about the election, to the point where I'm gonna go, look, dude, this is probably going to be absolutely priceless. Let's see what she's thinking about the election. Let's see. Oh, I'm just going to say, if this was happening in my replies, I might say a single word to try to stop it. This is why I hate standing up for myself against even completely bullshit attacks, because it ends up being the rest of my day. Okay, I don't even know. Whatever. Okay. Okay, wait. So here we go. Clashes erupted. Hindu temple. Racists have been using their own narratives, but reality is much more complex. What is this like?
As much as people I've been reporting a lot on the rise of anti-Indian racism in Canada lately, but I want to drill down a bit further and talk about the threat that Indian Muslims and Sikhs are facing right now. You may have heard about the violence that broke out at a Hindu temple in Brampton on Sunday afternoon.
Okay, I don't know anything about this, so we're gonna watch something else. What else she got, dude? Come on, cry about the election, dude. Okay, so everyone's saying that she is full of misinformation. Hold on. What, like, okay, what did she report that is misinformation? Okay, here. Hi, Rachel. As per your formal complaint, here's my public examination as to the errors, important omissions, and misleading statements in your video. Apologize for the delay. Okay. One, you mentioned the multiple progressive Jewish organizations are warning about the. Oh, God. Okay. So, come on. Give me something to sink my teeth into, for God's sake. Huh? What on earth does that mean? Oh my God. Trying to dismantle the disinformation and expose extremists one skeet at a time. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see her dismantle. Here we go. Like, I just want to see her cry about the election. Is that not, am I asking too much, for God's sake? Okay, wait here. There's zero evidence of significant voting irregularities in the election. Please don't amplify these claims. Let's see. Yeah. They're not talking about this election, dummy. GOP shenanigans. That's how they interpreted this. Because there are less votes in this one. GOP shenanigans. Oh my God. Hey, versus there being 15 million more votes in 2020 than there were in any of the previous like 4 or this Democratic election. That's your conclusion? Republican fucking shenanigans. Jesus. Something doesn't add up. Agree. 2020, Biden had 81 million votes. Trump got 74 million votes. In 2024, Harris got 66 million votes. Trump got 71 million votes. If a million Democrats, dude, are you kidding me? Oh my God, that is so funny, dude. Hey, how about you look at how many votes came in the previous 4 elections, and I think you'll answer your own question. Fucking idiot. That's hilarious, dude. This is amazing. This is amazing. I didn't realize this was a thing. I had no idea. I had no idea that they were interpreting that way. They're looking at that data and they're like, oh my God, 15 million less voters for us. Shenanigans. You're all, yeah, no, I agree. 100% shenanigans. Wait, you agree? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Absolutely stone proof of shenanigans. Did we just find common ground? Yeah, of course. Because you're talking about 2020, right? What? No, I'm talking about this one. Oh, okay, cool. Why don't you just look at your voter totals for 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020, and then now 2024, and see if there's one year that's the outlier, you know? Because I think you might start asking yourself if you might have been lied to for the last 4 years and maybe we were being gaslit, you know? Unbelievable, dude. All right, I'm going to jump in a second. Tammy B, thank you very much. Thank you, Daniel Smart. I'm now just looking at the chat because I had been over in the Twitter world. Whoa. All right. All right. I got to jump. I love you guys. Chat soon. Peace.